Hey guys, just wanting to do a little comparison video of two different vibratory tumblers. This is the Shoptuff 1 1/4. We bought it at Northerntool about 5 years ago. No real complaints about it. It worked quite well for our needs. It's just simply we've outgrown it, and so we purchased this one. This is a Kalamazoo Industries 3.5 cubic foot, 500-pound capacity. So much bigger tub on there. This is brand new. I haven't used it yet, so I don't have a whole lot to say about it, but I thought I'd just do a video comparing some of the build quality aspects. So this one comes more or less like this. We've made a few changes. We added a few fittings here to point the water down, the liquid discharge. We've also added this here, which used to go down to a pump, which we also purchased. We had about a 25-gallon container on this side of it. It was just a horse water bucket from Tractor Supply. And that worked pretty decently for having water flow through and back out to clean the parts and keep them cool. No big complaints about it. We outgrew it, like I said before. There's a few things I don't really like about this particular construction. One is that the controls are independent, but that has to be done this way because this entire top half moves. So having the controls down here near the floor wouldn't work too well. A few other construction differences on this one. The motor, I don't know if you can see it through there. That's the motor right there, and it actually vibrates with the tumbler, which kind of shakes them a little bit. And it hasn't broken too many parts. I think we broke an impeller off the motor. We've also broken some springs. This is one little complaint, is these are not generic parts. I had to order these from the company that sells it, or that manufactures it. So I have to wait a few weeks for them to come in. They're not here yet to replace it. A few other things it doesn't come with, the feet underneath it. We had to buy those. Before that, the machine would walk across the floor. Pump we had to buy ourselves. So this one comes a little different construction. The tub vibrates independently of the box. So this part shakes, the box doesn't. Now there's a huge advantage when it comes to unloading parts, is that you can open this door and you can have the machine running and the parts tumbling past you, and you can either pick them out with your hands or you can grab them with a magnet if they're steel. There's a large section that's almost the size of my hand here, removes with this mechanism here. So we spin that, move that, we can, it's on a forklift, so I don't want to pull it over. So that gives access to the drum, and then if you turn the machine on, all of your ceramic media and parts will dump out the side into a bucket. I'll set that down for now. Has a drain in the bottom, which goes into a built-in tank. Came with the pump. This is all as it was purchased. Now this tank's not really big enough for tumbling, for my needs anyway, because I'm going to run this thing probably 8 hours a day for probably 3 days straight, and this water will just get too nasty. I need a bigger tank, so we'll have to do something with that. Another aspect I like, instead of not coming with feet and having to buy them, it comes with casters, so I really hope that means it's not going to walk across the floor. The controls are mounted to the front of the machine, so that's very nice. The pump is connected to the motor, so you turn the motor on, pump comes on with it. That can be good or bad depending on what you want. If you want to use the pump to unload your tank into your cleaning system, like what we typically do, that's not the best, but it does prevent you from leaving the pump on and ending up with foam on your floor, or forgetting to turn the pump on with the vibrator or with the tumbler, and ending up with dry, caked on parts. I've had that happen before by accident. So that pro or con depending on how you want to look at it. The motor on this one's a higher quality one. Of course, the other one is going to be Chinese made. It's just a cheap motor. This one's a Baldor Industrial. Another advantage is the motor is bolted to the frame that shouldn't be vibrating, so it should be a lot easier on the motor. Instead, the belt goes up to these bearing blocks, and this is the off-center weight, which is how this unit vibrates as it spins this and it just shakes. So by transferring it through the belt like that, it keeps vibration away from the motor, which should make it last longer. The components are easily accessed. The bolts that hold the side panel on are really large and easy to handle, whereas on that one they're quite small and difficult to work with. You do have to replace parts. Springs break, belts break, pulleys break. These things are self-destructive. You got to change them. They'll all do it. This one's going to break stuff. The springs on it are they're all the same, which I like. And I'm 90% sure I can get these at McMaster Car or quite any spring manufacturer or spring supply house will carry these because they're just a generic compression spring. So if you know the wire, how many coils there are, and the length and diameter, you can just order these. That pretty much covers it. I'd say maintenance on this machine, the top and right side panels come off. The rest is sheet metal welded construction. So, but you should be able to access that other bearing block from the top, and of course this one's easily accessed from the side. So maintenance on this thing should be really easy versus this one, which is a much smaller to get into things. If you could take these bolts off, these panels come off, and then you can access it, but it's all right at the bottom of the machine, and it's really small to work in there. So this one, much easier to work with. Have I covered everything?
Yeah.
All right. In case I didn't mention it, 500-pound capacity, insulated box to reduce vibration, and I think that pretty well covers everything. I'll do an update video later when we've been running it for a while.
Okay. You go ahead and stop it there. All right, so this is our new tumbler that we just got in. Had it running for a little bit. Just wanted to make sure it wasn't falling apart before I kind of said I liked it. Here's it running. So nice. You can actually kind of hear yourself think.